Welcome back. Archival session number 11. No, 12. We are on number 12. I just saw Roofman, directed by Derek Kane France and written by Derek Kane France and Kurt Gunn. This is starring Channing Tatum, Kristen Dunst, Ben Mendelsohn, Lakeith Stanfield, Juno Temple, Melanie Diaz, Uzo Aduba, Leah Callias, Jimmy O Yang, and Peter Dinklage. This is a really stacked cast. Every time there was a new character, I was just like, what? Like, why is Ben Mendelsohn in this? This movie is the meaning of a charming Hollywood film. We have this anti-hero, a veteran, a war veteran who seems to be allergic to getting a job and wants fast money, but he's an empathetic, criminal. That's what he is. He's an empathetic criminal who's charming, and that's through Channing Tatum's performance, who I gotta commend him, because the last time I saw him in a movie was Blink Twice, and in that movie he was, an R word. That movie's kind of a scary role for him, but now he's in this role where he gets to be this charming criminal. And it's truly like charming, like the meaning of charming and charismatic. He's good in this. He's really, I think every performance in this movie does really well at being, and when I say pedestrian, I don't mean pedestrian in the sense that, everyone's mediocre, but pedestrian in the sense that they are acting like people. It is, I don't like when, it's not about realistic, but it's a very naturalistic performance by everyone in this cast, especially Channing Tatum, Kristen Dunst. Lakeith Stanfield's good in this too. Peter Dinklage, like everyone is doing a really well job of feeling like this is somewhere in North Carolina and we're in this crazy predicament. So we have Channing Tatum, who he can't really provide for his family. He loses his wife, his kids know he's broke. So he starts breaking through the roof of, McDonald's. And in the movie, they have to exaggerate. But he went to 45 McDonald's and just broke through the roof and stole the money. But you'll see, like, immediately, like, he's doing this with, like, the most well intentions. And when I say that, I mean how his performance comes over, like how he's talking to people while he has a gun. He'll be like, hey, the gun's pointed down. I just need you to get in the freezer and give me the money. That's it. And he wants a clean transaction. It's Michael Jackson would probably say he's a smooth criminal. That's a terrible joke. But it's conveyed really well because of Channing Tatum's performance in this. Like I said, it's really well done. Now, when he first gets caught initially, this is where the movie, and I know they can't cut it out. I know, but the movie does feel long, and it kind of takes a while for us to like find the emotion in the story. Because first it's just him doing things because he's broke, and it's like, oh, he's just broke. Okay, we meet Lakeith Stanfield, we meet his family, but things are just kind of moving, like information cut. That's how it feels. It wasn't bad. It's not like it was bad or anything, but it was just a lot thrown at you to get us to that moment where he breaks out of prison, and he's in a Toys R Us, and he starts to kindle this relationship with Kristen Dunst's character, which is, she's good, and even the child actors and her two daughters, they were really good, and it was showing, it became, even though we were still seeing him living in a Toys R Us, this became like a Disney movie in between the movie of like these two started having this blended family with this guy who's living in a Toys R Us. And I think this is probably the most video I'm going to talk about a lot of plot heavy stuff, because the plot really does matter, because it's this guy's life and what really happened to him. So we get, when he meets Kristen Dunst, he gives to the church. We see he's ingratiating himself in the church. And it feels really down to earth. That's why I'm like, this movie's really charming and down to earth. It's kind of like, this is set in 2004, and it feels like a movie that was made like in a world like like this criminal's nice, but he has a gun. I don't know how to explain it, but this movie had a good whimsiness to it, and it was the performances. They were, everyone was really well cast, and also really good performances of being in this movie and making it feel, making you feel good, especially when it becomes, he starts, getting closer to the church. Like when he first goes to the singles dinner that they invite him out to, like he's funny. He's like, "Oh, what kind of shoes y'all got on?" Like he's being really funny and charming. And Kristen Dunst's character even asks him, like, "Are you gay?" Like, hold up, like you're way too, like, it's like one of the girls, like that's what she says. And he's like, "No, I'm not gay. I'm just, I'm myself." That's who he is. And it really works. It does really work. This movie really works. I'm going through it. I'm just thinking about it. It was really good. But and then how it was shot. It was shot in a way, not in like this static way, but it was shot really interesting. Like sometimes they'll have some really tight close-ups on Channing Tatum's face, and I just say, I really give him, because in those scenes where he had to kind of break down, we see that breakdown of him, and we see that this life that he chose to live. Like he's digging himself in a hole every time. Every time he is digging himself in a hole, and he has to find a way to, not get out of the hole, but because there's no way out. There's every time he digs himself in a hole, it's like you're going to jail or you're gonna end up dead. Or you're gonna end up killing someone. Like something really bad can happen, because it's like you're doing armed robberies. Like these don't end well for you. But yeah, I think especially the scene where he knows, like, okay, I have to leave this town. I have to leave Charlotte. He's at the church, and like it's a kumbaya moment for Kristen Dunst and her family, because now her teenage girls and like preteens are with her in the choir singing in the church, and you can see him welling up because he knows like this is goodbye, and she even looks at him in the eyes, and it's like this is goodbye. I think the song was like "There's no space in the end" or something like that. So it was like the song matched with what that emotion was in that scene. Yeah, this movie just well made, charming. I had fun. I think this is, I was telling my fiance, this is a movie where you can sit back and like laugh sometimes, feel the emotion, and also be really super intrigued in who this person is. And, I think that was my only time where I was kind of like iffy on this movie, was in the beginning, where they're like, he observes everything. Like he's a smart guy. Like they kind of do like evil genius vibe. It kind of was getting annoying. But then once he starts interacting with other people and like meeting the church, getting in a relationship with Kristen Dunst's character, getting close to her daughters, and just being like just a cool guy, and that's what I think it really flourishes. But when it's just him and he's kind of just like, I'm figuring out everything, it's I'm not gonna say it was boring, but it did set all the pieces. So that's what I'm saying. It just was a lot of information dump, information cut. That's what it just felt like. But it worked. It actually did all work. All the pieces do fit together in this movie. Yeah. I think this movie's on Channing Tatum's back, and he does a really good job. And then also Kristen Dunst, really earnest performance. I was saying these are really naturalist performance. I got a chance to really travel around for work. I was in like Missouri, Red Bay, Alabama, like places in, Middle America, down south. And like you meet genuine people who just living their lives, going to work at Toys R Us, just living their lives. And that's what this movie feels like. People are just living their lives, and then you have this character, Channing Tatum's character, who's like, oh, I'm escaping prison actually, and he's just there like soaking it up, and you feel it in the movie. He's just soaking it up. Yeah. And then this movie ends on, of course he gets caught. Like I said, he digs himself into it. Of course he gets caught. And And you see, like, even the Kristen Dunst's character, she does visit him in jail, like, because they did have a relationship, like they got close to one another. And I wonder how that reveal is to someone in real life, like, wow, wait, you're an escaped convict and I was like falling in love with you. That's kind of crazy. That's a crazy story. And in the end, they did a series of interviews with people that have, like, the pastor that met him, the real people as credits roll, and you realize, like, wow, this story is truly, like, wow, this is crazy. And a lot of luck in it, but also a lot about his character, because everyone always says, like, he's a nice fella, he's a nice guy, like, everyone's like, nothing, their antennas didn't go off about him. They just, he was charismatic. And Channing Tatum kind of played that. I commend him for this. So I recommend this one. People go see it, like, especially, when people say, like, there's no movie. I think this movie's good because it's based on a true story. The true story is kind of wild, and this movie does a really good job of conveying that. And they did really well. Having those high emotions, having the comedy, having the drama, having the heartfelt moments. It's all there in this movie. And I had a good time. So that's my film discussion for Roofman. Next video, since it's the 25th anniversary of The Mummy from 1999 with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. I'm excited. I'm seeing that tomorrow. So we got another video. I'm popping them out this week. This 3 straight. I don't know if Thursday will have one. But yeah. Go see Roofman. It's really good. I had a lot of fun. Yeah. Peace.